So usually as a filmmaker, we get approximately 2 hours to narrate a film script. But today with my audience, I just have 18 minutes, so that's a bit tight for me. So let me just come straight to my subject. Life in the Indian film industry. Now this is definitely a different life. It's not a normal life. When I thought about approaching this subject, I said, what should I talk about? And then I asked myself that what does 24 years in the film industry mean to me? Who am I? What am I? Am I a hit? Am I a flop? I got the answer that I'm a survivor. Yes, I'd like to believe that I'm a survivor because it's very important to survive well in this industry. Because neither success is permanent, neither failure is permanent. They just come and go. But if you are surviving well with a good mental health in this industry, success and failure can come anytime. It's basically, from my side, if I can give something 100%, it's perseverance. Now let's talk about what makes me survive. It's instinct. For every creative person or a normal person, everyone has an instinct. We all have a basic instinct. I've always followed my instinct. Remember that your instincts are never wrong. All your decisions, all your creative ideas, the scripts that you want to make, everything is instinct based. Let me tell you a small story about my instinct. I'll tell you about my first film because there will be many filmmakers who want to start fresh, and it's very important for them to know how important that is. So I wrote my first film, and it was in Kal. I wrote my first script, which was inspired. In those days, inspired was quite copied, like a remake from an English film. And it was a film called Final Destination. I was very excited that I have written a very strong script. And then I started hunting for producers. Of course, I got a fantastic producer, Karan Johar. He read my script. He said, Soham, this is good. We are good to go. I'm ready to produce a film. I go to Vivek Oberoi, a big star. He said, I love your script. My dates are available in 3 months. And I had an ace producer and an ace actor approving my script. Vivek threw me an obstacle. He said, there's one problem, Soham. He said, there are one very big branded directors. There are 2 directors who direct movies together. They were at their peak at that point. He said, they are also going to make a remake of the same film. He said, you decide whether your first film, you want to compete with them. They are big, their production will be big, their actors are going to be big, so you decide. So I go back to Karan Johar and I tell him that this is the problem. Now my producer supported me. He said, Soham, many films are being thought of, many films are being developed, some are made, some are not made, you decide what you want to do. So here I had an opportunity to take that shortcut and make that film, still go ahead with Vivek and Karan Johar. But my instinct did not let me do that. My instinct said that I do not want to make a film which might be a first copy of an English film. So I went back to the first draft, for the blank page. I started writing a new script. I unendingly delayed my own film. I didn't know whether Karan Johar would like my new script, whether Vivek would approve my new draft. But I took at least 1 year to rewrite an entire brand new script. And that was Kal, for you to see. Now, if I wouldn't have taken this opportunity or that risk of rewriting a new film, this film wouldn't have been made. So instinct is very important. Now let's come to conviction. Gadar 2, Sunny Deol, for the last 22 years, in the last 15 years, not in his top form, a director who was not really considered as a very promising director in this age. These two come together and give 2023's biggest blockbuster, that is Gadar 2. A film like 12th Fail is a fantastic example. The producer and director of 12th Fail, if he would have thought that he's made a film with lesser actors, not known big stars, or a small content-based film, and if he wouldn't have released this film in the theaters, it wouldn't have done the numbers that it's done. Same with Kantara, a absolute original film, very earthy rooted film, a new actor, a new producer, a new director. It's the biggest hit pan India. The idea, the idea of perseverance, the idea of conviction is that you have to be convinced. What is a storyteller's job? What is the job of a director? You have to non-stop convince people. I have to convince a producer to put in 100 crores in my movie. That's bizarre. I have to convince an actor that this is the script which will get your best out of your performance. I have to convince 200 technicians that every day that we are shooting, this will bring out the best technique that your craft knows. It's a lot to do with conviction. If you don't choose a script which you are convinced about for the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you will not be able to convince people. So instinct followed by conviction. Perseverance. Once you come into this field, there's going to be a lot of rejection. You might go to a producer who actually might not have the wavelength to understand your script. He rejects you. That doesn't mean your script is bad. You might go to a producer who might actually not have the funds, so he might reject you. That does not mean your script is bad. An actor may not want to work with you because maybe he doesn't trust you, because your last film is a flop, or an actor may be influenced by somebody else. That doesn't mean that your script is bad. You need to be very, very persistent and believe in your own work, because someday someone will believe in it. Let me tell you a small story. So with my first film, once Carl was greenlit, Karan Johar's father, who was actually going to put in the money, he called me. He said, "You youngsters, you just want to write anything? Are you crazy that you want to shoot a film in Corbett Park, where in 1952 Mr. Devanand wanted to shoot and the Indian government never gave him the permissions? You want to shoot a film where there are 3 tigers. You just want to write any rubbish and you think I will greenlight this?" He threw a challenge at me. He said, "If you go to Corbett Park and get the permissions on paper yourself, that is when I will sign you and I will put money into this film." He said, "You cannot use my name because I have not signed you, but I will fund you for 7 days." With the assistant director, I went to Corbett Park. We stayed there for 6 days. We did not have influence, no ability to meet the topmost officers. We were trying to meet the forest officer, DFO, DMO, everyone. And till the 7th day, I had no success. Finally, I happened to meet the forest officer. I said, "Sir, can you please read script and give